Okay, so now we're on experiment number 6, and it says, how can two current carrying wires attract or repel each other? Now this one again is kind of dangerous, so you're going to want to find this one on the internet, find a video of it, but what you're looking for is two wires that are like this, and then somehow they're going to connect the two wires to an electric current, and then those two wires are either going to be attracted to each other or they're going to be repelled from each other when you run the electric current through them. So that one, find that one on the internet. Again, write down what materials were needed for the experiment, what was the procedure, and then what was the results of the experiment. Let's go down to experiment number 7. Now this is one that I'd like for you to try to do at home. I want you to try to make a magnet with a coil of wire and with electricity, in other words a battery. And so if you'll go to the internet, you should be able to find lots of videos on this, how to make a magnet using a coil of wire and then a nail, and then also you need a battery for it. Okay, so once you've done that, you can take a picture of your battery, of your magnet. It should be able to pick up a paper clip, maybe. Certainly it should be able to pick up a single staple. So see if you can do that with your homemade magnet. And then once you've done it, take a picture of it and then paste it into the lab there on experiment number 7. Now if you absolutely positively cannot make a magnet this way, then just find the video of it and then paste in the address in there. But you can still write down what materials were needed, and then what the procedure was, and then what the results of the experiment were. Okay, let's go down to experiment number 8. How can a U-shaped magnet deflect a straight current carrying wire? So this one is kind of expensive to do, to get one of those U-shaped magnets. So it is a magnet and it is shaped like a U, and then what you do is you take a current carrying wire. So let's say that this is the U-shaped magnet, which kind of looks like a V, but anyway, it's a U-shaped magnet. And then they're going to take a wire and then place it through it like that, and then they're going to run electricity through that wire, and then that magnet is or the wire is either going to go jump out of the magnet, or it's going to go into the U-shaped magnet. So see if you can find a video of that, and then write down what materials were needed, what was the procedure used, and then what was the results of the experiment. So let's go down to experiment number 9. Okay, how can you make a motor using a magnet, a wire, and a battery? So this one is kind of complicated, so just find a video on the internet and then write down its address, write down the materials needed, the procedure, the results. But if you do make one, okay, and then photograph it and then stick it in the lab, I'll give you 5 bonus points for doing that, because it does take a little bit of work to make one of these motors that actually works. If you can just get the coil to turn in the magnet, that's going to be pretty good. If you can actually get it to spin, that would even be better. But as long as you can get it to move whenever you turn on the electricity, then that's going to be good enough to get your 5 bonus points. And then finally, let's go down to experiment number 10. how can you make electric current in a coil of wire with a magnet? So find a video of this on the internet, write down its address, and then write down the materials needed, the procedure, and then the results. So for every one of these experiments, you are going to be writing down the materials needed, the procedure, and the results. And then for some of them, they're too expensive or they're too dangerous, and you're just going to write down the address for it. And then for other ones, I think you could actually do the experiment at home with some simple equipment. And then for others, if you want to go ahead and make it and then take a picture of it, then you'll get bonus points for it. So those are the experiments that I want you to do in order to get credit for this lab. The more of these experiments you do, the more points you're going to get. So if there's 10 points for this lab, guess what's going to happen if you only do 8 of the experiments? You're only going to get 8 points on the lab. Okay, so it's up to you. So do this lab, and then I will see you in class. So, bye.